If you've followed Jack Antonoff uh, career at all, do you know that the Grammy-winning artist, the guy behind countless pop records over the past decade, did you already know that a Bleachers project is not a side project. It's a joint where all of the industry noise, the production credits, all of those expectations, they just fall away. And this is going to be some of that personal stuff. Their fifth studio album, Everyone for 10 Minutes, dropped May 22nd, and the rollout has felt refreshingly human. During release week, Bleachers played a free hometown show at the Stone Pony, which is in Jersey, at Ashbury Park in Jersey. Then he posted the entire thing on social media so that everyone could take part of it. Meanwhile, the Bleachers Forever tour is officially underway, and Antonov has been sharing these tour notes that are really these motivational kind of things for himself. But he's just like letting the fans in, letting everybody in on that process, treating every show as if it matters. He is really a live in the moment kind of person. You're listening to some of these interviews, and like he really he talks a lot more about the lived experience of music making, of art making, than the actual like technical stuff, right? The technical stuff that goes into music making. And he is like very introspective. He is very in his feelings. And I guess Bleachers gives him a chance to really be in that emotional, artistic flow state. And he's able to talk about all kinds of things that's going on in his real life and their regular life. Human experiences on these tracks is nothing about this. Especially knowing like how he's able to make such pop music, but then for a pop music person to be able to put together some alt rock folksy. A lot of it is like folk music. Put that stuff together, man. Uh, Jack Antonoff he's a brilliant artist. He's one of these brilliant artists that can transcend all these different genres and give you your pop record if you had to. But as long as you let me do my Bleachers joint on when it comes time for when I need that outlet, love to see it. From a production standpoint, this album feels lived in. It traveled the world to do so. So he went through from studio to studio, like in New York, L.A. He recorded it. They recorded in London. And every stop along the way, it feels like it has a little bit of a fingerprint on the final product here. Antonoff is everywhere on this record. He's doing vocals, guitar, bass, drums, synths, programming, of course. It's a true hands-on Bleachers album. There's hope here, but it's earned. The songs acknowledge heartbreak, uncertainty, growing older, getting stuck in sometimes in some production that you may not be inspired by, but then finding a different energy that you need to keep you going into the. Like, he works a lot. He works a lot, and then you talking about tour too and stuff. He does a lot of shows, uh, and it's you can't always show up 100%. So he talks about some of that stuff and the expectations. Overall, though, the sound is intimate. It sounds very DIY. It doesn't sound like this like huge mega producer kind of thing. It's less arena size energy and more like intimate conversations between like close friends, right? Uh, the tracks that really stick out the most to me up top here is I Can't Believe You're Gone. This is an emotional joint that you don't get it. You doesn't get a chance to write about in a lot of these pop records. But Inches of Glory and the Leaps of True Faith, no, they don't come easy, but they honor the ways that another day over, a moment or a year, bring me right back to the start with the same damn words I feared. I can't believe you're gone. This is talking about how um, healing after loss, it's not linear. Coming out on the other side of that thing, it's not always linear. Some days are good, some days are bad, and then some days you thought you made so much progress that you're past it, and then this one thing happens, or you hear that one song, or you smell that particular kind of pie or apple pie or something like that, and then it brings you back. It brings you back to that moment, and it's like you feels like I'm right back from the start in the grieving process. There's the car that we drove, for example. When you, like he says, back to lyrics. There's the car that we drove when you were still around. Some clothing and wallpaper, a Burger King crown, sand bottles and essays outlive you. How wrong this room is a nightmare. This room is my God. Um, I saw a movie once. I can't remember the exact name of the movie. They might have done this in a couple different movies, but like somebody dies and they leave the room untouched. That room becomes a god, which comes almost like a little a throne or like a, what do they call that? What do they do that? Not what do they call that? Not a throne, like a dang, I forgot what they call this, but like there's in, I think it's in like some cultures where you do like a monument. It's like, sort of like a little monument inside the home, like a little tribute area, and it just stays that way untouched. And so some rooms, some bedrooms have turned like that, especially if it's like a child. You know, you still got their all their the dinosaur bed still there, the race car bed, and the stars still, the glowing stars still on the ceiling. A shrine. That's what I'm looking for. A shrine. And it's like this room is turned into a god, but it's a freaking nightmare because every time I go in there, it also reminds me that you're gone. Um, the van. That's another dope track. That's the second one there on this thing. It's probably the heart of the record. Early touring memories on this one, New Jersey, nostalgia and the kind of reflection that stings because it feels true. The Blue Magic sample lands exactly where it needs to. The opening seconds to this track, the van, the first, like, I think it's like 15, 16 seconds to this joint. I play it right. Let me play that bit right now while I'm at it. The first few seconds of this joint, yo, it sounds so hip. It sounds like somebody about to drop a beat. Yo, y'all, somebody in hip hop needs to sample this joint. Those first 17 seconds of this joint, the way it opens up, it was like it's set up like it was gonna be such a like an explosive kind of track, but then it kind of mellows out. It's still a dope track, but that first ooh that first those first um few chords were felt like a more of a setup. You and Forever, another dope one. This is the lead single and a classic Antonov, Slow Burn. It starts small, it builds gradually, and then eventually explodes into something genuinely uplifting. Dirty Wedding Dress shows up. About it shows up fifth. It's the fifth track on this thing. It's one of the most layered songs on here. It's about love, memory, commitment, and all the the complicated feelings tangled up between them. It's the kind of song that reveals a little more about itself and a little bit more about his mental state. The more you listen to it, so listen. I catch something every time I hear it. At its core, everyone for 10 minutes. It feels like an album almost trying to hold on to the things that matter: relationships, hometown, memories, being on the road, shows. Even though you'll go on to the next show, but you want to hold on to the good moments and the vibes of what you just experienced in that in the previous show. And it feels like they're making music, trying to catalog their experiences. They're making this music for themselves. It's almost like a journal. It's the whole thing is like the experience is like I'm gonna need to look back at this album 10 years from now, and it's gonna bring me right back to where I was, if from their perspective. And the rest of us, we just get to like listen in on that, and it's beautiful that they could put it all to music and they make it work that way. There's no nostalgia on here. It may be nostalgic later, um, but uh, it's just it feels like full honesty. Even the dark themes on here, it feels communal. It feels like something that is intimate, like a record that you want to experience with friends nearby. So maybe that's the vibe. that you want to play it when in these moments that you need to feel sustained, that you need some recovery, when um, when you need to have a shared maybe experience with an individual, for like when they're no longer around. I mean, I know that makes it sound kind of sad, but like you listen to this album with a friend, and it's gonna feel like when they pass and you come across this project again, it's gonna be like, yeah, I remember that time we listened to this project, the Jack Antonoff project, that Bleachers project, top to bottom. That was dope. We vibed out. We got some Uber Eats. You know what I mean? We cracked open a bottle of wine. Right? Shout out to this Malbec that I'm drinking right now. We cracked open a bottle of wine and we just listened and we tapped into it and it was lovely. Um, it feels like that kind of energy. That's the listening experience I want for you, and I hope that you enjoy this project as much as I have, and just like being able to just like chill and sit with it. Bleachers aren't trying to recreate any of their old success. These are new stories. These are new experiences. These are new rooms in the house that they're building, and this house is you know will age well within their catalog. Everyone for 10 minutes feels like another strong step in that direction. It's welcoming, it's thoughtful, and it's the kind of album that you're gonna keep finding new reasons to like, you know, run back to.
It's challenge day.